Triple Goddess Soaping.
Also, here we are.
Today
we are just getting all of our stuff blended
Hot Springs
up.
Cove,
I have
my
oil mixture here, which you'll see down below in the about information. I do link my recipe, and I also toss in there the additives that I like to use in all of my soaps. So I usually use some clay as well as goat's milk powder and the colloidal oatmeal. So I'm just going to get my safety gear on here because safety is very important. I always wear long sleeves, gloves, and my eyewear, as well as long pants and closed-toe shoes. I'm probably wearing slippers in this this video, but you can't see because, you know, slippers are my thing. I usually add sodium lactate as well to the lye solution just to add a little hardness to the bar when it's being unmolded. I don't think it really contributes to the overall hardness when the bar is finished curing, but it does certainly help get it out of the mold. I particularly like using sodium lactate if I'm using small or weird shaped molds with intricate details. I mean, this is obviously just a regular Amazon mold, but it does help, and I do like using it. So we're going to get it all mixed up here because I have all my additives in my bucket, and I'm just going to pour in my danger water, and we're going to get everything all emulsified. This is a soap that I've made a few times, and I sold out the end of January because there is a new store in Ladysmith, British Columbia on Vancouver Island, a new plant store called Solstice Plants and Gifts. And she stopped in and she bought 30 bars of my soap to sell in her store. So that was very exciting. But that also meant that I was sold out of 3 of my signature line soaps. So you'll see in the coming weeks I'll be sharing the videos on the remakes just to show you what it looks like and talk about what I've been up to. So we're getting it all mixed up here. You can see, I always find this fascinating, and I'm sure a lot of people who watch soap making YouTube videos do as well. You can see the change in the color and the texture of the soap batter as you're mixing and blending, just as it initially emulsifies. Oh, and apparently I did not include my clay in my my white clay in my original batter, which I usually do, but I guess because I was also adding the red clay, I wanted to add some red and some white to do my swirl. So anyway, carrying on, I'm just mixing in my white kaolin clay because this soap I like to do a white swirl. I think it really makes the bar come together. I've done it with just red clay and I don't find it's as texturally appealing when you look at it. So yeah, I like it this way, so this is the way I do it. Just gonna get everything all mixed in and blended well. And you will find sometimes that clays will accelerate your trace a little bit. I don't have much of a problem. I soap at room temperature. I use about 1 tablespoon of clay per oils, which some people may think is a lot, and some people may use way more than that. But yeah, I use about 1 tablespoon, and I don't really find that I have any issues with acceleration with my batter. The only time I ever have any kind of acceleration or issues is if I'm using a fragrance oil that doesn't play nice. And you'll see that in a future video. I have, I've only ever had one just go nuts on me, and that was a lilac fragrance early on in my soaping career. It was hilariously awful. I actually still have some of those bars of soap, and they're really nice, but they're very ugly. But yeah, you will see in a future video I use a fragrance oil, and it doesn't ruin the bar, and actually the bars came out really nice, but it definitely accelerated much more than I expected it to. And then a fragrance oil that I did expect to accelerate didn't accelerate at all. So, you know, even when you read the fragrance notes on the website to see, you know, how they behave in cold process soap, they're not always true for your recipe. So, yeah. So we're going to get this all mixed up. I have in the last couple, let's say since the end of January, I have made probably 4 or 5, probably 8 or 10 different batches of soap. So I have been busy, and we are going into tax season because you may know that I am an accountant in public practice by day and a soap maker by night, day, weekend, all of my free time. So I'm just doing a simple drop swirl with I believe I use a chopstick to do sort of a hanger swirl, except, chopstick swirl. I'm just going to drop this in from quite high and then go down low, just to get some of that white down towards the bottom. And give my container a good scrape out so that I can get all of that soap into the mold, because every soap maker knows you don't want to lose any of that soap batter. You want it all to go into your mold. And you can see here that the soap batter is a little bit thick, but it's definitely very, very workable. Oh, and also too, for Solstice Plants and Gifts, I highly recommend you go visit her. I was there this past weekend, visiting my soap and also taking a good peek at her plants, and I did come home with 3 plants. Her prices are very, very reasonable. The shop is absolutely adorable, and it's in Ladysmith, and I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing this right, but it's 17 Gadiger Street. It's right around the corner from Ladysmith Bakery, right up the street from the Spice Hut. So it's easy to find if you know Ladysmith at all, and if you don't, you can just plug that into your GPS like I did and find it quite easily. And here's my typical messing around with the top. I don't know when to stop. I want it to be swirly, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So I just got out my stainless steel butter knife and I'm just messing around with it. I really do need to come up with something simple and pretty that I can texture the top. Maybe something that would be more of a signature look, but I haven't come up with anything yet. I don't know how to texture soap. Sometimes I get lucky. You can see here, I'm just going to keep playing with it until I finally have enough, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stop now. And what kind of soap tops do you prefer? Do you like a flat soap? Do you like something that's very swirly? Do you like the flat soaps that use a lot of colors and do like a bit of what is it called? I want to call it a Taiwan swirl, but I don't think that's what it's called, but I'm sure you know what I mean. What kind of soap tops do you like? Do you like them full of glitter and additives and, I don't know, oatmeal? Here I am adding black salt. I really actually enjoy adding black salt, and I also have some pink salt that I haven't really used very much. And one thing I've seen that I will be doing at some point is, I thought it was just so clever. You basically take your salt and you just add some mica to it and use that as coloring, and then you can have any color, like little sprinkles like this on top of your soap that you want. So I think that's what I will do. And look at her, isn't she beautiful? Nice and shiny and glistening. I think that the black salt just really sets it off and really finishes it for a soap that's called Hot Springs Cove. And one thing that I probably don't need to point out to anyone who's regular watching my channel, but all of my soaps in my main collection, they all are named after places and unique places on Vancouver Island and in BC. So that's a neat little trivia fact for the people that probably already know. But yeah, that's my jam. That's my thing. And this is such a beautiful soap when it's cut. I really like the swirl. I think it's just perfect. You can see on the table here that I do have other soaps that I have cut, and you will see a video on those in the weeks to come. I would like to say thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, please please consider liking the video and hitting the subscribe button. And if you like this content, there will be so much more to come.